of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place me ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna.
Pleasant good morning. It's a beautiful day out here in Kamalote. Sometimes people go on and act as if though God is a slack landowner who will not do anything and will allow every and anything to follow through. When you look at the book of Micah, it tracks down a 500-year history of Israel. 500 years. These people were operating as if though there was no punishment and they could do what they want and don't need to worry at all. The leaders in particular were abusing their power. They were abusing their power. They were taking advantage of the poor. This is a regular occurrence today all over the world. Many, many, many countries have issues with things like this. Ours not excluded. It's a common practice that when one political party gets in power, they start to punish people from the other side. Even though all the ministers, including the prime ministers over the years, have sworn in on the Bible, putting their hands on the Bible and saying that they won't do it, they still do it. But the people on a whole in this country have to open their ears, because that's what I want to talk about this morning. You know, this thing stays in my head. It can't come out. We're looking at Micah chapter 6. And it says, "Hear, O mountain, the Lord's accusation. Listen, you everlasting foundation of the earth. For the Lord has a case against his people. He's lodging a charge against Israel." You know, the Bible says that all these things that are written as an example for you and I. They're examples for you and I. And if somebody would flog their favorite child, what do you think they will do to you if you do the same thing? And that's what people are not considering, that the apple of the Lord's eye is Israel, and God is talking here about punishing Israel. Nobody has to punish Israel. As the people today want to assume that nothing will happen. If Israel is doing wrong, they will be punished. It says, "My people, what have I done to you?" God is asking, what have I done to you? How have I burdened you? Answer me. Answer me. I brought you out of Egypt and redeemed you from the land of slavery. Now that's the question we must ask ourselves. What has God done to us? Those of us who are Christians, he's taken out of bondage. He has taken us out of bondage. He has redeemed us. Beautiful. These people were only told, and they only had to do one of those festivals, the Passover, that hinted on what Allah represented and Jesus Christ. We know they were only told how it was going to happen, but we understand. What has God done to us? God is asking, it says the Lord is asking this question. It says, "I sent Moses to lead you, and also Aaron and Miriam. My people remember what Balak king of Moab counseled and what Balaam son of Beor answered. Remember your journey from Shittim to Gilgal." God is reminding the people all the wonderful things he has done for them. And for you and I, that we may pay attention to what God is doing, what God has done for us. And God is asking Israel, what is it that he's reminding the people, right? Which one of those things? Where do I, why have I erred? God is saying. He says, that you may know the righteous act of the Lord. So with what shall I come before the Lord and bow down before the exalted God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I offer my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sins of my soul? He has showed you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, to act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. In other words, God don't want no sacrifice. God wants obedience. He wants us to walk humbly with him. He requires, you don't really God no want no sacrifice. He really does not want any of that. So we can't say, well, they bring one nice bull to come in back in the days when people used to sacrifice. No. Really, God would prefer not to do any of that. He wants us to listen to him. That's what he really wants. Verse 9, it says, listen, the Lord is calling to the city, and to fear your name is wisdom. He the rod and the one who appointed it. He the rod. You get lashing. You know, sometimes we threaten our children. If you don't stop, I want to get lashing. Then the person get lashing and says, see what I tell you? I'm going to tell you. But people don't want to listen. Sometimes people wait to get that lashing first. Am I still to forget, O wicked house, your ill-gotten treasure, and the short ephah, which is a curse? That I want you to pay attention to. So there's a lot of people commit sinful act and believe that when the sin is forgiven, that there's nothing, no consequence. You're wrong. Sin has consequence. Even though God will forgive you, you will still have to pay for it.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me Sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me Sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me Sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me Sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, 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 oh.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Corozal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Hello Bemopan, welcome back to the second segment in this series of the Trade License Act 2024. I'm Councillor Chris Enriquez, and today we'll be discussing your business productive footprint and how it impacts your trade license fee. Let's break it down. Your business's productive footprint is the square footage of the area where your operations are conducted. It excludes common spaces such as agricultural lands, lobbies, restrooms, stairways, parking lots, storerooms, and shared hallways, unless they are used for profit. Your business falls under an economic classification based on your business type. This classification, as well as your zone, will further determine the rate applied to your business.
Hi, I'm Lauren Milton. I'm the Evaluation Manager here at the Bemopan City Council. I know a lot of people keep wondering what we're measuring when we visit their business. So let's take a closer look at what productive footprint looks like for the different types of businesses. As you can see, we measure the area used for business purposes only. This includes retail space, dining areas, or workspaces. For example, here's how the productive footprint is calculated for a coffee shop, a supermarket, and an office space, specifically an accounting firm. Let's take a coffee shop for instance. Here we see the kitchen, the bar, and the dining areas as productive space. What's noteworthy here is that a restaurant and an ice cream parlor has similar productive space as a coffee shop. Next, we have a supermarket. For this business, we measure the entire retail floor, including aisles, checkout counters, and display areas. The storerooms and employee break areas are excluded since they are not used to generate direct sales. Lastly, we look at an accounting firm office. The productive footprint here includes the client reception, conference rooms, and workspaces where the business's services are provided. Excluded are areas like break rooms, restrooms, kitchen, and non-operational storage. As you can see, productive footprint is the usable square footage where your business is conducted. This excludes common areas like lobbies, restrooms, and parking spaces, except in cases where these areas are used for profit. Remember, productive footprint looks different for different businesses, so be sure to accurately measure your premise to ensure your fees reflect your footprint. It is important to note that Schedule 8 of the Trade Licensing Act sets fixed trade license fees for specific classifications such as traveling professionals and auto dealers.
Knowing your economic classification and accurately measuring your productive footprint isn't the only factor in your trade license process. You must also consider that there are 4 municipal zones and that your business is located in one of them. Each zone has a different guideline that will affect the rate applied to your trade license fee. As a reminder, the new Trade License Act takes effect on January 1st, 2025. Businesses without a trade license by then are subject to penalties and fees. So we encourage everyone to apply early before the deadline, December 31st, 2024. Stay tuned to our next segment where we will answer your key questions. Thank you for watching, and let's build a prosperous Bemopan together.
Each year, as we launch the theme for national celebrations, we enter a period that really goes up until Independence Day. During this special period, we try to make a special effort to celebrate Belize, to showcase Belize's culture, Belize's heritage, our history, our diversity. Belize at 44, stronger together, rising forever. I think as a country we've always understood the importance of unity. when we work together as a people, we can overcome any challenge, any obstacle. Resilience. How can we rise above the challenges? How can we continue to be a resilient people even when we face adversity? How do we respond to that adversity? So I think it's a very, very timely, a very relevant theme, and I certainly hope that we embrace that theme and that Belizeans will get a sense of purpose out of this theme.
Every project starts with the right tools. At Builders Hardware, we got everything to get the job moving. Tools, paint, plumbing, electrical, garden, it's all here from construction start to finish. We're also offering a different kind of power tool. Order anytime, anywhere. Pick up in store or get it delivered to your home. Go to shopbuildersbz.com today and save money with our exclusive online deals. Builders Hardware, making it easier.
Start the new year with big savings on your 2025 property taxes. From January 1st to March 31st, 2025, the Belize City Council is offering incredible property tax discounts that you won't want to miss. Prepay your annual property tax by January 31st, 2025 and enjoy 15% off. Pay by February 28th and you'll save 10%. And if you pay by March 31st, you'll still enjoy a 5% discount. But wait, there's more! Senior citizens can enjoy a fantastic 35% discount upon full payment of property taxes for the property they reside on all year round. Please note, these discounts are available only to property owners who are up to date with their accounts. As you take advantage of this discount, we kindly remind all property owners of your responsibility to visit City Hall or utilize our online platform to complete your payments and to ensure your contact information is accurately updated in our system. For more details on these incentives, visit our Belize City Council Facebook page or give us a call at 227-3073, extension 261 or 264. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Blessed Gardens is servicing home gardens across the country from the nation's capital and helping Belizeans reconnect with nature. We have everything you need for your home garden, so get growing. We have various types of soils: fortified soil, composted soil, potting soil, and pure compost for your garden. We have quality seeds and over 65 varieties of food seedlings for your garden. We even have organic insecticides available, EM soil treatment, and Polyshade for your excessive sun or rain. Blessed Gardens has all your garden solution in one location. Call 610-5679. Visit us at the Bumapan Market Plaza or enjoy our free deliveries across the country. Blessed Gardens. Get growing, Belize.
Are you hosting an event for your school, church, business meeting, conference, private function, and are in need of a PA system? Then call 610-5679 and have one thing less to worry about. Get your video, audio, lights, songs, and a family-oriented DJ needs met at one great price. Call us today at 610-5679 and let the show begin.
to your heart.
Foundations. Your work must be grounded upon solid rock, and so should your faith. Join Pastor Louis Wade Jr. weekly for Foundations Bible Study, where he goes deep into the Word of God with biblical teachings for better understanding.
And Jacob said, if you bless me, and if you are with me, and if you take me to that place, and if you bring me back, you will be my God. And God said, okay, you were too fool, but I will walk with you nonetheless.
Tune in on PlusTV Sundays 9:30 a.m. for a new program, or catch the repeats on Mondays 11 a.m. and Thursdays 11 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. We would love to hear from you. Write in and share your thoughts, prayer requests, or even post questions you may have regarding the Bible passages. Email plustvbelize@gmail.com. Foundations. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain.
Do you enjoy learning and wanting to know more about Christ your Savior? Then join Phil Sanders in Search of the Lord's Ways every Sunday 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. on Plus TV for half an hour of beautiful hymns and Bible messages.
We're in the second half. We officially enter the second half of June on a beautiful Monday morning. God bless your day. God bless your week. It is certainly a pleasure coming into your homes, whether you are watching us from the north, the south, the east, the west, or the central part of it, which is Belmopan, the capital city and surrounding areas. We give thanks to God for a new day and a new week. And certainly yesterday and Saturday, so I see some people celebrated Saturday as Father's Day in the church and on the church calendar. Sunday is the day that we celebrate Father's Day, and so I don't think we had a show on Friday, so let me start off by saying Happy Father's Day, or belated Happy Father's Day to all fathers in the nation of Belize, and especially those of you who are watching us on this beautiful Monday morning. May God give you the strength to fulfill your duty as a father in your home, in your community, and in the nation of Belize. Well, Brother Fem is here with me this Monday morning. Brother Fem, good morning to you, and Happy Father's Day, my brother.
The same thing,
I
Pastor.
trust that you had a little time to rest yesterday.
Yes, I want to thank my kids for preparing chicken soup for me.
Chicken soup, that's one of your favorite things, eh?
Yes, and I throw down everything where they make it.
Very
out.
good.
I want to thank my daughter, my sons. I have 13 children in all. 3 boys and 10 girls.
10 girls.
And thank God, one of them never texted me, but last night again, he texted and he said that he worked, but he reminded me. So I want to say again, we all go through things in life, but no give up.
Yes.
So that's my theme for this. We cannot give up, Pastor.
That's right. That's right. You move forward. Well, I have a picture there of we celebrated Father's Day at our church as well, and for the Father's Day, we normally have, like the church service, we normally have very special activity, some type of activity, and one of those activities included my father. My father is still alive, 92 years old, and every time I travel across the country, somebody wants me to is asking me about my father, my mother, how they are doing. And my father is 92 years old. He was in church yesterday, and he's in church every Sunday that he can, along with my mother.
Grandson to pass.
My son and my grandson. So that's 4 generations. 4 generations. I have 4 sons, by the way, but in this particular activity, my oldest son was asked to join us at the front. And so that is my father, myself, my oldest son, and then his son, his only son, Kai. And so 3 of us named Louis Wade, and then there's little Kai on his father's lap. But that's 4 generations of Wade, and I give God thanks. My parents are still alive, still praying for me, still serving the Lord, still the patriarch of the family. And I was saying, as was saying Brother Fem to my church, that I have no problem advocating for men. In a world and a country where there is a lot of advocacy for women, which is much needed. It is much needed. Or women are stepping up in many areas, and I think that that is a very good thing. But I think there is a problem when men begin to step back, or men begin to feel that they can't contribute to society, they can't get scholarships, they can't move ahead. Sometimes the courts, a lot of men say that the courts, if they go to court, they feel that the court is for the woman and against the man. Meanwhile, the court should really be a neutral place, right? Justice should be blind. So it should not put one gender over another gender. So there are many issues that men face. If you go to the prison, there are 1,200 men and 20 women, of which half of those women are just there for immigration offenses. So, in other words, they were just trying to make a better life for themselves or for their families. So, I had the opportunity. My father shared a little bit about his decision for Christ and about his father, which is my grandfather. I do have very small recollection of my grandfather, and I do have pictures of my grandfather and grandmother on my father's side, which is my father's father, and he was buried right on the family property in outside of Punta Gorda, in a village that no longer exists, Creek Arena. And I'm still glad to have my father alive. And of course, I have 4 sons, and my oldest son has a son. So, as I said, my household is mostly males, and then my son has a son. So I believe with that strong traditional family and strong nuclear family. We come from a very strong nuclear family. We need to be advocates for God's design of family, of the nuclear family, of a father and a mother present in the home. And so I am blessed. That photograph that you see there, for me, is a blessing to have my father, my son, my grandson, 4 generations of Wade. That is a blessing that not many people get to experience, and I give God thanks for that.
Man, and what a way to celebrate this Father's Day with the family intact. That is a blessing. So
well, some people are trying to change the definition of family, Brother Fem. Some women, when you hear them talk about patriarchy. Well, my father is a patriarch, and I'm very proud of him. I am proud of how he is the head of our home and a head of our extended family. And I talk about cousins and nieces and nephews, and a very large family. And my father is the head of that. And so having a patriarch in the family is not a bad word. It is not disrespectful. My father is a gentleman, and we try to emulate what he. So I don't know about other people who talk about patriarchs. Sometimes these guys in the media and some of the people out there they're probably ashamed of their family or don't have a family structure per se. But I'm very proud of who we are and what we have and what we contribute to the world and to Belize as a nation. And I'm very proud of our heritage. It is our heritage.
Yes, again, happy Father's Day to all fathers, and you got some mother they step up and take that place because their husband might died or are way out of the country working. And right there, so the lady take over the whole thing. So we got to give them thanks because I feel like one lady more responsible than man in a sense that sometimes when you come home, they'll say how the house look, and when you come home, like they put everything new. They know how to put things together. And if we never have the ladies, amongst my family, who actually gone through hard things, but because of having a good mom, we able to make it through.
Yeah. Well, I believe Father's Day is for fathers. No woman can substitute a man in the home.
So if I say Happy Mother's Day...
Well, Mother's Day don't go and be celebrated.
Father's Day to our mother?
Well, I would have a problem with that. They already have their Mother's Day. Women have their Mother's Day. And I don't see any man trying to impose on Mother's Day, right? I have never heard a man say, well, I am the mother of my home. So mothers have a day. Give the fathers their day. And let the fathers be celebrated on that day, you know. Yeah. We don't want any woman in Father's Day, just like how we don't want any man in Mother's Day. Is it true that some women have to work harder and have to hold the family together? Most definitely, and why is it? It's because the man is missing.
Yes.
So yes, there are cases. Many cases in Belize where the man is missing. But what we do in that case is we encourage the men to take their place. Right. There are some men that have to pick up the phone, call their children, you know. So sometimes they're estranged, they're separated. And so fathers, the role that a father plays, no woman can play in a family.
Yes.
The roles that a man play in a family. And that's how we grow up. That's how we grow up to take our place as men. No woman should be taking the roles that I have as a father. I need to step up and step into my position. And that is what we call mentor. We have a telephone call. Carla, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning to Brother Louis.
Good morning.
Happy Father's Day, and Brother Sam, happy Father's Day to you as well.
Morning, Brits.
How's everything going on this wonderful Monday morning?
All is well, all is well. Thank you very much.
Well, I comment today to inform the general public that I, Alan the Real McCoy, saxophone musician, will be back at Belmopan this coming October to participate in Belmopan Night Market. So I'm pausing from Belmopan Night Market from now until the end of September, until a date is announced in October.
Very good. Thank you. That is a saxophonist, well-known, Alan McCoy. So he will be very soon with us. October. All right. We're going to mark that down.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I did listen to you. I think the last 2 market days when you came down. I was right there in the audience.
Yes, I came was for the Mother's Day edition.
That's correct. Thank you very much.
All of it.
All right. Yes.
Personal call just now. Yesterday, my daughter come to my house and visit me, no? I hugged me up and say Happy Father's Day, and I said the same to you, my daughter. That's why I just say.
Is the same to you?
Yeah. She take care of 3 kids right now by herself.
Yes. Well, that just means she's a good mother, but she cannot be a father. So well, these are things that that need to be said, no? That many men are missing in the home. And a man is is irreplaceable. Therefore, men need to step up and be who God designed them to be, who God purposed them to be. And yes, it is true that in our country, in our culture, many men are missing from the discourse. I was saying yesterday, is somebody on?
Yes, Pastor.
Okay, let's hear what the person has to say.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Wade. Good morning, fam. Good
Good
morning,
morning,
fam.
Mama.
Miss Amelia and Casey here. Sorry for not calling so long. I caught up in some stuff, you know, and it kind of really complicated. My daughter-in-law had a baby. She got C-section, and it kind of complicated. I had a topic this morning, Pastor, and it is true. Many fathers, walk away from their children, because I am one of them. I raised 3 of my children, but I find a partner who helped me raise my 3 children, Pastor, and I give God thanks for my husband, because he do a father role. He raised my 3 children, send them to high school, and the life that they give to their partner that they live with now. They raise their children with their spouse, and I give God thanks for that. But even in the church, you look in the church and see how many men is in the church, Pastor. We have to pray for men to stand up and do. As a father and as a member, you are the head of the home. The Bible tells you that you are the head of the home. And in my home is the same, because my husband is not he believes in God, but he's not walking alongside with me. But Pastor, I am hopeful that one day God will lead him the path that he should lead. Each day I see God changes his life more and more, Pastor. Because I pray in God for take away alcohol out of our generation, because that is the thing that is drawing home. Alcohol cause that people kill each other, father, mother, son. It is very, very rough. We as a believer have to pray for our household. And also, that is just my topic this morning, Pastor. And I want to give God thanks for this opportunity of sharing what I have on my heart this morning. Have a blessed day. And Father's Day is every day, right? Because we have to hold, guys have to hold on the mantle as a father. So you, Pastor Wade, you are a blessed husband, you are a good father. And I give God thanks for my brother too, because he tried very hard with his children. So I want to give God thanks for all fathers out there who hold their mantle. God bless you guys, and keep holding your family together, man, because love is about family. We have to love each other.
Thank you,
this is my topic. I'm giving this piece this morning. Have a blessed day, and God bless you guys.
Have a blessed day. God bless you. Thank you very much for calling. The telephone number to call is 822-2031. And yes, we give God thanks for stepfathers. Stepfathers are fathers too. They step in and they fulfill that fatherly role.
Yes.
And there are some people who are single mothers, but they don't want to be in that position. Some man maybe walked out of them on them, or maybe the father died. There are different situations where a father is not in the home, but that is why you have church, you have relatives, maybe it's an uncle, a grandfather, somebody who helps to play that role. A boy needs a male model in their life. And that's why Sir Baden Powell came up with the concept of scouts, so that boys could have men as role models in their life. Boys need men in their life.
I agree.
Positive role models. So you see where in Belize City, where many men are missing, then the gang leader becomes the alpha male. The gang leader becomes like the father. And he's not a good father. The gang leader is not a good father, because he sets up his children to take drugs, use drugs, sell drugs, defend territory, and they die. So that's that is a bad male role model.
That's right.
But the gang leader, there are more gang leaders in Belize than scout leaders. There are more. I almost think when you look at the teachers in the classroom, there are far more female teachers than male teachers.
Yes.
And that is a bad thing. That is not a good thing. It is a bad thing because boys need male role models. We're not telling female teachers to step back. We are telling male teachers to step forward. That's what we're saying. So why is it you think that there are far more females in school than males now? The reason is because the boys don't think they need to be in school. At home, they have a mother, the father is absent. At school, they have female teachers, the man is absent. And you could just go on, and you can see the problem that we are facing as a society where the many men are missing it in action. And so our boys are now marginalized. Our last week Friday, when we were here with Dr. Palacio, the university has opened up a school of medicine. 9 people have started that class. 8 of them are girls, 1 of them is a boy. You understand? So there are issues that we need to address.
So, Pastor, what cause that normally the male and the female do better than the male, especially when it comes to being a teacher?
No, I don't think so. Females are not better teacher than males, nor are males better teacher than females. It's not so.
Okay.
I have had the wonderful opportunity growing up to have good female teachers and good male teachers. As a child in primary school, I had very good teachers in high school. The same. One of my favorite teachers in high school was Francis Humphreys. He was a history teacher. Francis Humphreys eventually became the mayor of Dangriga. And he was also principal of at least the high school, maybe even the high school and the sixth farm at some point. I was glad, very happy, because when I went to Belize City at Technical College, he actually moved from Dangriga for a period of time and was teaching history in Belize City. And I loved Belizean history because of Francis Humphreys, and there were many other male teachers in my life. I struggled in mathematics from right through primary school and high school, struggled in mathematics. Miss Wadai in Dangriga, she was an excellent mathematics teacher, but for some reason I could pass her courses, but I could not excel in her courses. When I went to university, it was a male teacher that really, the way he taught opened up my eyes to mathematics, and I eventually became a mathematics teacher along with chemistry and biology. So females are not better teachers, males are not better teachers. You have good in both, but it is the presence I am talking about, the presence of the male in the classroom, so that like a female teacher, some female teachers, not all, but some female teachers, they can't control the boys. So they send the boys out of the classroom, or the boys get punished more. And the reason may simply be that the boy is being a boy. He's not giving trouble, he's just being a boy, right? The boys might be more restless than girls. A girl in the classroom, she can sit still, she can listen, she is well. A girl can sit longer than a boy. A girl can hear a teacher talk longer than a boy. A boy is different. He's built different. He wants to go play. So you have to have activity in that classroom so that the boys can take the energy, the additional energy that they have, and they can use it as a boy sitting in the classroom. There are activities. He uses his hands. A girl might be able to imagine things, but a boy is physical. He wants to touch. He wants to explore. And so if the teacher in the classroom cannot provide that, then the boys are going to give trouble. And that is what we are seeing. We are seeing, because there are far more female teachers than male teachers, slowly there are far more girls in the classroom than boys. And the boys don't want to go to school. So what is the problem with that? The problem with that is the fact that the boys who do not go to school will end up giving trouble in the society later on. And that is why we are seeing 1,200 males incarcerated and they are missing in action from the society. Belize's biggest problem in violence is gangs. How much of those guys who are in gangs finish high school, finish sixth form? Little to none of them. They fell out along the way. And they were given a label of being bad when they were probably just being boys. They were just being boys. And so, as I said, these are things that I observe and I see. I did a class, I did a workshop for a school. They had about 20 female teachers and no male teachers in the school. An entire school with not one single male teacher.
Man, that's sad.
You know, so I don't know who in our government would call that a good thing. That is not just a bad thing, that's an absolutely terrible thing. And that has nothing to do with those female teachers. You understand?
Yes,
I'm not blaming the female teachers for that. I'm blaming how we socialize our men and our boys. You see? So these things matter in the kind of country that we are creating and going to continue to create. Which is why things like police, things like BDF are important, because it helps to provide structure and discipline for the male in the society. But one of the biggest problems also is that in order for you to enter into the police, BDF, Coast Guard, and all of these places, you have to now have a high school diploma. And then the boys are falling out before then. So what do those boys become? What do they become? So a society that cannot equally take care of its boys and its girls will eventually find itself in problems.
I agree, man.
Right? So even if the girls progress, which we want girls to progress, but if the boys are being left behind, your society will have major problems. They will join the cartel, they will join the gangs, and who will deal with them? Who will deal with them? And we're having that problem right now, and it's only going to get worse if we do not have a system that takes our boys and turn them into gentlemen, turn them into men that are contributing positively to our society.
I totally agree. I think it have over 2 years, Pastor. I went to Belize City, I catch a bus, and I went to purchase some items and get some shot for me gun, no? And I had to come back in at this bus. Our man take on while, but you know, you look for me, and I tell him, I say, "How brother, everything all right?" He say, "Yes." Pastor, you could see the tears that come down from this gentleman's eyes, and I tell him, I say, "I want to pray with you." He say, "Yes, but I not pray with them." So then I ask him, what happened? He tell me, he say he left a job at San Pedro. He teach. He say, and he fire himself, he resigned. He say, and the amount of stress what he gone through, so much years serving, he feel like he want to get out of his head and all. So I really was so sad when I come home. I tell my kids, I say, I met a gentleman, they cry one teacher, and he say he resigned from the school in some class in San Pedro, and he said the kids are just terrible. Honestly, I pray God that he get better.
Well, as I said, there are far less men in education than women. And so we need a program that helps our men who are teachers to encourage them, to help them to be able to address the issues that children, and in particular boys, the problems that boys are experiencing. We need teachers that are able to understand boys. You cannot just be punishing boys because they're giving trouble. You have to go to the core reason and try to address it there. You know, I believe that we would have a lot less people on drugs, because drugs is primarily the boys that do drugs, right?
But now the girls and step up.
Well, the girls are stepping up too, because the society is deteriorating, right? There is an age where more females use crack than males in our country. Statistically, that I saw that data from NDAC, National Drug Abuse Control Council. So there is that percentage of people that are using drugs, and you have to catch people before they begin to use drugs, because once a person starts using drugs and they become addicted to it, that is a lifetime of fight that they are. It's going to be a lifetime of fight and war, because a drug is another substance that's controlling your behavior. And then slowly over time it controls everything.
What are the symptoms show when anybody detecting kind of drugs?
Oh, they're for a child, for a young person, a very young person, their behavior change in the home. Their behavior change right in the home. So they become more stubborn, they lock themselves up in the room longer, they communicate differently, they talk back to their parents. So you will see a very, very direct difference between your child before they start take drugs and after they start take drugs. There is a stark difference. You can see it in the eyes, the pupil of the eyes, because when a person begins to take drugs, the black part of the eye, the pupil of the eye, it opens very wide, right? The person may become like very nervous, can't have a decent conversation with you. They talk fool sometimes, and they think that they're talking wise. But there is a sharp change in behavior. That's one of the things that parents can identify, that something is wrong in their home. What I would begin to do at that point is I would check their room. I would go through their bags or go through their books to see if there is anything there. And then who are their friends? Who are their friends that they are hanging out with? If they are hanging out with people who are smoking weed, there is a very, very high possibility that they are smoking weed. And even if you're not smoking the weed, just by hanging out with people who are smoking weed, you are smoking it because you're smelling it, so it's beginning to come into your system. So what would I do in a case like that? I would take my son for a drug test. The tests in Belize are very expensive, $100, $150. And so what we have at Hedges is we have a test that costs about $5. And there are tests that you can buy very cheap. They test about 13 to 15 different drugs. And so your son can pee in the cup, and you can find out very, very early if your child is on drugs. And I would recommend any parent that is questioning or suspicious that their child is taking drugs, take them for a drug test. Because that child is still under your roof, that child is still under your care. You are the parent of that child. And so the earlier you can find that your child is on drugs, the better you can get them off it. Because before you know it, some of them begin to hear voices, right? They begin to hear voices. and those voices that they hear will drive them to more drugs, because when they take the drug, then the voices are silent, and then as soon as they come down off the drug, those voices begin to come into their head again, and that is the beginning of the end for your child, is when they begin to hear voices.
Pastor, when I used to be a little bit younger, I used to mess with marijuana, now heavy drugs, huh?
Yes.
Just sitting with them guys, you know, the lone smell of the weed, want to make you, by the my turn now.
Yeah.
But the weed to the day, man,
You
could
notice the
smell
weed
that
today
thing.
smell different, right?
Like a mile you could smell that.
Yeah, because it has crack in it.
Wow.
Right? The weed today has crack in it.
You know, here young people.
And there is weed today that has fentanyl in it. Fentanyl is the world's worst drugs. And it has, as I said, we have done tests where the marijuana has in angel dust, meth, and fentanyl. Why? Because the drug dealer wants you to buy their drug, right? They want you on their marijuana, right? So how can they get you on their marijuana?
Tell me.
How will a drug dealer get you on their marijuana? Because marijuana sell everywhere, right?
Yes, Pastor.
But how does this dealer get you to say, this I want my marijuana from this dealer, because that marijuana there,
a good thing.
That's a good thing. How they will get that? If all marijuana is marijuana, Brother Fem, why is it that one dealer, one is good thing? It's because you are not only addicted to marijuana, no. You are addicted to whatever that drug dealer put in their marijuana. Now let me ask another question. All right?
Oh, yes, Pastor.
Let me ask another question. Doesn't a drug dealer want you to be their client? Does the drug dealer care where you get the drugs from? Anywhere? Does the drug dealer say, get your drugs from anywhere? No. What does the drug dealer say? Get your drug from me, right? From me. So he wants to, the drug dealer wants to, and I say he, but half of the drug dealers now are women. Maybe more than half, right? Of the drug dealers are women. In Cayo, Orange Walk, Corozal, Belize City, Belmopan.
Yes.
Half of the drug dealers are women. So they want you to come to them. So how can a drug dealer get you to come to them? Well, first of all, they will give you your first drugs free if they have to. They will give you their first drugs free. Secondly, they will give you a place where you could take the drug and you could hang out there all day, right? You don't have to worry. You take your crack and you safe in this place as long as you pay me. And if you run out of money, bring your phone, bring your bicycle, I'll hold it for you, but you will get as much drugs as you need. And if you do work, oh well, you're a good client because you could run up a tab. You could run up a tab, right? So how will the drug dealer get you to want their marijuana? It's because their marijuana is laced so that their marijuana is different than everybody else's marijuana.
What they do also to capture the youth, for the first time they go there, they get a whole catch with smoke free.
Yes, yes.
They not go buy nothing.
Yes.
And then after that, when they go back there, when you say, I ain't got money, so you start to see something missing from the house.
Yes, yes.
That they take out there and trade that with drugs.
Yeah, pot. Everything when they're done, tools. But why? Because at that point, the addict love the drug more than they love their ma, their pa, their wife, their husband, their baby, their job. Addict may have a good job, but when they on the job, he have to stay on the job, right? Even though he will make money at the end of the month, his body is calling him for the drug. So he will not stay at that job. You say, well, but you have a good job. How you the out the pick up pint bottle? You the out the pick up pint bottle preferred rather than go on the job to make money. Because on the job, his money will come 15th and ending. But if you go pick up pint bottle right now, every time you make $5, he can go and buy the drug. And so they will walk away. A person on drugs will walk away from a good job over time and will go on the street, because on the street you're able to get $5. And I've done this before. I could tell a person who is on drugs, come and work with me for the day. And at the end of today, I will give you $40. They can't do it. They cannot do it. You want to know why?
Yes, Pastor.
Because 10 o'clock they need a hit. So how do I work for you all day and get $40 at the end of the day? They can't work because 10 o'clock they need a hit. 12 o'clock they need a hit. 2 o'clock they need a hit. 4 o'clock they need a hit. How do I work?
That's right.
How do they work? They will go right outside a shop and beg for money. Right?
That's right.
Or they will walk around at high speed picking up bottle out of garbage. Because as soon as they get $5, they can stop what they're doing, go buy the drugs, get high, and when they finish, then go in again for pint bottle. But the problem is they cannot work for you because you're right there, the watch they work. How do they work?
Yeah, that's true.
So what do I tell you? I go into the shop. Let's go get water. And when they do, they go. Then they're gone.
Yes.
I've seen it over and over. You know, so any person, any government that tries to legalize drugs does not have the best interest of the nation at heart. Any government that tries to legalize any kind of drug, including marijuana, does not have the betterment of the nation at heart. It's 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. We got to take a break. You got a text, or we okay? You take that break and come back, Brother Fem?
Yes, Pastor.
So we need men. Yeah. Men. We need men.
Men.
To take their role in the family, in the community, in the church. I am disappointed with most of the men that I see in church. I'm very disappointed in a lot of men that are in church.
But you don't think that are the best place? You don't think that are the best place in go be? Somebody, I remember incident.
It's a whole kind of world that could open up there, Brother.
I remember
men in church.
you were helping two of them to get over. And the guys in get good treatment and they broke right in.
Okay, yeah. They just get frightened? You know what I say?
No, I say some of them and the church take them over. Finally, here in the compound when they could sleep and get them, try help them with anything. And later on, they turn right round cleaning the yard. When they find out what weed are missing, they start missing.
Yes, but we have to work with men. But there are many men in the church that just leave the work for women. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
there are many men in church that leave the work for women. So the men in the church have not yet learned to rise and to take their position in the church, right? Because women cannot bring men to church.
Why, Pastor?
Well, because only men can bring men to church. But men in the world need to see something in the men in the church that will make them say, yes, I can be a Christian. I can see myself being a man in the church. And that's why most churches have a lot of women and just leave it a man. It's because of the men in the church. They are not good examples of what a man is, right? So when there is a church that has men who are good examples of men, you will see more men in that church.
Wow.
Right? So, I'm sorry, but that's the best way that I can put it, as mildly as possible. That the more manly men you see in church, the more men you will see coming to church,
Right.
because they find a place. But a church that caters primarily for women will have mostly women, because you cater mostly for women. So if you want men in your church, you have to cater for men. And that goes from the songs that you sing, the messages that you preach, the activities that you carry out. Man no like cry and man no like hold hand. And a lot of church today about cry and hold hand. So it's like, you know, so you have to restructure. You have to restructure. And then men come with problems, right? Maybe they come, they drink, they still smoke, maybe they cuss on a word or two. And then if you are a church that you will weed those people out. You know how many churches today that Paul or Peter couldn't go to their church? Who was Peter? Peter was a fisherman. And we see that Peter had a lot of problems, right? Peter had problems, he had issues, but Jesus dealt with them over time. Even to the point where when Jesus was getting ready to go to the cross, correct? Peter denied Jesus, right? Did Peter deny Jesus? Yes, right?
Yes.
But he was with Jesus for 3 years.
Man.
And at the end of 3 years, they still denied Jesus. So men have issues, right?
Yes,
Men have problems. And so the church has to be able to work with these men to bring them to where they need to be.
Yes.
And so sometimes the man just start coming to church and we don't have very high expectations, right? And we have to work with men where they are.
Yes, sir.
I love working with men. I love working with men. And if you go to our church, you will see a lot of men. Some of them are broken, some of them are on drugs, some of them are coming off drugs. There are men, we have men that are very active in our church. And that is, and then we that's one of the reasons why we do things like we build houses or repair houses or so on, right? If you every weekend your church just to have bake sale, what the man never do? What the man never do? If you're thinking of bake sale,
yes.
What's there for the man to do? You know? So as I said, I could go on and on and on and talk about men, but we have to take the break. So we could take the break now. Let's take a break. I will be right back. You're watching Rise and Shine on Plus TV.
Yes.
Land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize. Land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, 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 oh.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Corozal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Hello Belmopan, welcome back to the second segment in this series of the Trade License Act 2024. I'm Councillor Chris Enriquez, and today we'll be discussing your business productive footprint and how it impacts your trade license fee. Let's break it down. Your business's productive footprint is the square footage of the area where your operations are conducted. It excludes common spaces such as agricultural lands, lobbies, restrooms, stairways, parking lots, storerooms, and shared hallways, unless they are used for profit. Your business falls under an economic classification based on your business type. This classification, as well as your zone, will further determine the rate applied to your business.
Hi, I'm Lauren Milton. I'm the Evaluation Manager here at the Belmopan City Council. I know a lot of people keep wondering what we're measuring when we visit their business. So let's take a closer look at what productive footprint looks like for the different types of businesses. As you can see, we measure the area used for business purposes only. This includes retail space, dining areas, or workspaces. For example, here's how the productive footprint is calculated for a coffee shop, a supermarket, and an office space, specifically an accounting firm. Let's take a coffee shop for instance. Here we see the kitchen, the bar, and the dining areas as productive space. What's noteworthy here is that a restaurant and an ice cream parlor has similar productive space as a coffee shop. Next, we have a supermarket. For this business, we measure the entire retail floor, including aisles, checkout counters, and display areas. The storerooms and employee break areas are excluded since they are not used to generate direct sales. Lastly, we look at an accounting firm office. The productive footprint here includes the client reception, conference rooms, and workspaces where the business's services are provided. Excluded are areas like break rooms, restrooms, kitchen, and non-operational storage. As you can see, productive footprint is the usable square footage where your business is conducted. This excludes common areas like lobbies, restrooms, and parking spaces, except in cases where these areas are used for profit. Remember, productive footprint looks different for different businesses, so be sure to accurately measure your premise to ensure your fees reflect your footprint. It is important to note that Schedule 8 of the Trade Licensing Act sets fixed trade license fees for specific classifications such as traveling professionals and auto dealers.
Knowing your economic classification and accurately measuring your productive footprint isn't the only factor in your trade license process. You must also consider that there are 4 municipal zones and that your business is located in one of them. Each zone has a different guideline that will affect the rate applied to your trade license fee. As a reminder, the new Trade License Act takes effect on January 1st, 2025. Businesses without a trade license by then are subject to penalties and fees. So we encourage everyone to apply early before the deadline, December 31st, 2024. Stay tuned to our next segment where we will answer your key questions. Thank you for watching, and let's build a prosperous Belmopan together.
Each year, as we launch the team for national celebrations, we enter a period that really goes up until Independence Day. During this special period, we try to make a special effort to celebrate Belize, to showcase Belize's culture, Belize's heritage, our history, our diversity. Belize at 44, stronger together, rising forever. I think as a country we've always understood the importance of unity. When we work together as a people, we can overcome any challenge, any obstacle. Resilience. How can we rise above the challenges? How can we continue to be a resilient people even when we face adversity? How do we respond to that adversity? So I think it's a very, very timely, a very relevant theme, and I certainly hope that we embrace that theme and that Belizeans will get a sense of purpose out of this theme.
Every project starts with the right tools. At Builders Hardware, we got everything to get the job moving. Tools, paint, plumbing, electrical, garden, it's all here from construction start to finish. We're also offering a different kind of power tool. Order anytime, anywhere. Pick up in store or get it delivered to your home. Go to shopbuildersbz.com today and save money with our exclusive online deals. Builders Hardware, making it easier.
Start the new year with big savings on your 2025 property taxes. From January 1st to March 31st, 2025, the Belize City Council is offering incredible property tax discounts that you won't want to miss. Prepay your annual property tax by January 31st, 2025 and enjoy 15% off. Pay by February 28th and you'll save 10%. And if you pay by March 31st, you'll still enjoy a 5% discount. But wait, there's more. Senior citizens can enjoy a fantastic 35% discount upon full payment of property taxes for the property they reside on all year round. Please note, these discounts are available only to property owners who are up to date with their accounts. As you take advantage of this discount, we kindly remind all property owners of your responsibility to visit City Hall or utilize our online platform to complete your payments and to ensure your contact information is accurately updated in our system. For more details on these incentives, visit our Belize City Council Facebook page or give us a call at 227-3073, extension 261 or 264. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef.
In this segment, I'm alone. Brother Pen is not with me, but I think he did a very good job in the last segment. So he's taking a break this segment, resting. Last segment, we talked a little bit about men. This segment, before I go, I just want to talk a little bit about what is taking place in the world. And of course, here within our own country, we have our issues. You can see that the United Democratic Party is still very, very much disorganized. The factions are definitely not, even with that overwhelming defeat that took place in March. We are now in June, and they have still not corrected their issues. They have not found a solution as yet. Remember that there is a leader of the opposition, because that is a constitutional position, and so Honorable Tracy Panton is the leader of the opposition in the House, but We see that Shine Barrow continues to manipulate the system of the United Democratic Party, and they were again unable to carry out a successful National Party Council meeting, which is necessary for them to begin to organize the party and bring about a national convention, which will then allow them to select a party leader moving forward. So the party, you know, I just look at it from the outside and I shake my head, because I saw a speech by Shine, which he made on the internet, where he said that that National Party Council meeting on Saturday, we were supposed to do this and supposed to, and that he's claiming that the reason why they didn't do those things was because of the unity rally that Tracy Panton's supporters held outside or at a nearby location. But in reality, I don't think that they were really interested in doing that, doing the things that they said they should have done. And you hear the arguments from both sides, and you get that sense that there is, like, they want to show that this is the way forward for us to have a new leader by the National Convention. You hear the words, but the actions on the ground, they are different. Last week we looked at the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Dean Barrow, saying that he tried to give advice to the party, and specifically to Alberto Agas. I think he mentioned his name, but he gave the impression that his advice was not taken. So, well, if Dean Barrow's advice was not taken, one would feel that it's because you have a better solution. like that's what I would think. Well, maybe the advice that Dean Barrow gave was not what you wanted to hear, or was not good enough, which means then that maybe you have something better. You have to have something better. But then what I saw on Saturday, it can't be better, because once you do not include the group that is outside and they are not in the meeting to allow the voting to take place, you will continue to have disruption, because you are disenfranchising a very large portion of the party. And I might dare to say that it's the vast majority of UDPs that are disenfranchised and are on the outside. That's from my observation. So the honorable thing to do would be, if you cannot bring both parties together for discourse, then you need to move certain things towards a vote, where those who are allowed to vote, entitled to vote, or eligible to vote, are able to cast that vote. And that is clearly not happening. So it doesn't look like votes were taken. And there are people who believe that they should be a part of the voting that are not a part of the voting. And then they are seeing people who should not be a part of the voting be voting. And so this is the problem with political parties, because they try to control the vote. If you look at conventions, be it a UDP convention or PUP convention, be it a constitutional convention for standard bearers, etc., you will always see that manipulation. You never see a pure democratic process where you just come and you vote and may the better person win. you always see these invisible hands trying to manipulate the outcome of elections, of inter-party elections on the inside of a party. And so you can see from the outside, you can see that there are attempts to manipulate who can and cannot vote so that there can be a predetermined outcome. And that, I believe, is the primary problem that the United Democratic Party is facing at this time. And as I said, those are the issues in Belize. There are also issues beyond Belize. In Ireland, for example, Northern Ireland, in Ireland, I shouldn't say Northern Ireland, in Ireland, there are a lot of riots and protests that are taking place against immigration. Meanwhile, in the United States, in Los Angeles, New York, and actually many parts of the United States, on Saturday, there was it Saturday or Sunday? I think Saturday, there were protests, no king protests. And I believe the idea in their head is that Donald Trump is setting himself up to be some kind of a king, and they don't want a king. And so there are very, very large protests. By and large, the protests were peaceful, very large, but there were protests as well earlier in the week against ICE. And those protests were very violent against federal officers, ICE officers who are dealing with the immigration. America has an immigration problem. America has an immigration problem. When you see that a group of people that you invite into your country, or they come into your country illegally, and then they are waving the flag of their own country in your country, if that doesn't get you angry, I don't know what else will. Because the whole idea of immigration is assimilation. You are going to come into my country. You are going to come into my country from your country, and I'm going to welcome you because you are claiming that there is a problem with your country. You are claiming that you cannot have your daily bread from your country. You are claiming that your life is under threat in your country. So I allow you to come into my country, and then you go and you set up your little country in my country, or you want my country now to become like your country that you came from. And my country has a flag, it has a national anthem, it has a national ethos, it has its culture, it has its way of life, it has rule of law in my country, and then you will come in my country and wave a Mexican flag, burn stuff. Well, you have a problem. We have a problem. I cannot imagine in my country of Belize, a group of Guatemalans are going to come into our country and we welcome them here. Some are legal and some are illegal. And then on the streets of Belize, because you do not like our immigration policy here in Belize, you will bring your Guatemalan flag and come and wave it in my country. You will burn my Belizean flag, and you will try to say in your argument, because I listen to these interviews in Los Angeles, and these people are actually saying that Mexico really owns California. Like Mexico really owns California. That's like a Guatemalan saying that they own Belize. And they're saying it in Belize while waving their flag. So I have a problem with that. I have a problem that in Los Angeles and in the actual parade of protests, I saw a Belizean flag. Like what is the waving of a Belizean flag have to do when you are in America, enjoying the sweets of America? You clearly cannot survive in your country, Belize. You are clearly in America because you can't survive in Belize. And then
you will protest against the American government in America and wave your Belizean flag? You are disrespectful. You are out of order. You are in a foreign country. You are in a foreign country and you are disrespecting that foreign country, which has been good to you. And because that country is now seeking to clamp down on illegal immigration, you will burn their flag, and then you will hoist the flag of the country that you can't survive in. You will hoist the flag of the country where you come from. You will hoist the flag of your disorganized, failed state country where you can't make a living. You will go to America and fly your flag there. You deserve to be expelled from that country. If any country came to my country, if any people came to my country, Belize, after we have allowed them to come in and settle here, and they start to wave their flag in protest against my country and my government, I would definitely move for you to be sent back to your country. So America has a problem where the immigrants that have come from certain specific countries now believe that America is theirs. Now, you want to tell America how to run America, and you can't tell your country where you come from how to run it. You can't tell Mexico how to behave, but you want to tell America. You can't tell Belize, Guatemala, Honduras. You cannot live in your country. You cannot survive in your country. You cannot prosper in your country, and you will go to another person's country and try broke it up, burn it down. You have a problem. And I've sat here and said, yes, we believe in immigration once it is legal, and we believe that you go through the process. We need to have a heart for people who are refugees because they experience problems in their country, legitimate refugees. We fully support that. But when you come into Belize, you respect Belize, you respect the laws of Belize, you try to immerse yourself in the culture of what it is to be Belizean, and you help to develop this nation rather than you have a protest and a riot in my country after you have been invited here. No, man, we have a problem with that. That's a problem. There's a problem in the United States. And so here you have two factions of people. On one side, you have the people who are celebrating the 250th year of their army and their patriotism and the flying of their flag and their army, which is what makes their country great, which was what preserves their values in the world, which is what makes them the greatest country in the world. And so you have that is taking place, and simultaneously you have a protest, and in that protest the people are saying no one is illegal. Those are powerful words. When you say no one is illegal, like, yes, of course there are illegal people. There are people who don't belong in your country. And you as a nation, if you do not preserve the values and the culture of your nation, you will lose it. And so those are my thoughts. I'll leave you with those. In Israel and Iran, people are constantly asking me, do you think we're going to go into World War III? I don't believe so. I believe in order for you to have World War III, countries will have to join with Iran. I don't see any country joining with Iran because Iran is a problem by itself, and it destabilizes. Iran helped destabilize Syria. Iran helped destabilize Lebanon. Iran helps destabilize Iraq. Iran is a threat to Saudi Arabia. And if Iran has nuclear weapons, develops its nuclear weapons, it will be a problem for Israel, and it will be a problem for the entire region. So Israel is dealing with a problem, and is dealing with a problem for the rest of the world. You might like or not like Israel. That's your beef. You can have your own opinion on that. But if I believe it will be a world war, I don't think so. Do I believe United States is going to get involved to a certain extent? Because there are certain bunker buster bombs that United States has, and bombers that can finish off the work that Israel has started with some of the nuclear facilities. And it's left to be seen. America is in a sense already in it because it's helping to defend Israel with the dome, some of the military equipment and so on. But that's a defensive assistance, not an offensive assistance. Will America move from defensive to offensive? That will be seen. And even that, I don't think China and Russia are going to jump in, and none of the Middle Eastern countries are going to jump in on behalf of Iran. Lebanon has already told Hezbollah, which is a group in Lebanon funded by Iran, that they are not to participate, because if they do, they will have problems from the inside. And so it's a troubled world. It continues to be a troubled world. Let's continue to pray, and let's continue to look up. The Bible says when we see these things, our redemption draws near. From all of us here at Rise and Shine, God bless you, Belize. See you. We are heading out. Okay, you want us to continue this a little bit more. All right, so those are the issues that we are experiencing around the world. I started off by saying that in Ireland, there are protests against immigration. In the United States, there are protests for immigration. There's also issues, as I said, between Israel and Iran that are taking place right now. That is definitely escalating. And there are other issues. In India, there was a very large plane crash, they thought it was 242 people were on board the plane, but that plane crashed into the apartment of a medical university. And so I think the last count was up to 170 and maybe more, because some of the people who were in that building died. One man miraculously walked away from that terrible air tragedy, and he doesn't know how it happened. It's definitely a miracle. When he came to, there was fire everywhere. He was able to get that emergency door open, and he jumped out of the burning plane, which exploded right after he left it. And so air travel is still the safest mode of travel. It is the safest mode of travel. However, when the accidents happen, quite a few people lose their lives, especially on takeoff, as opposed to on landing. Because on landing, the plane has used up most of its fuel. We're not saying that it happens all the time, but on landing, there are more survivors because the plane has less fuel in it. They try to go till the plane is practically empty. But on takeoff, the plane is full of fuel. The plane is full of fuel, and the plane needs to reach a certain speed before it can lift. And so these accidents that take place on liftoff they tend to be very, very devastating. Anyway, I gotta wrap up. Maybe we will fade to black or whatever it is, but we gotta go. Please, God bless you, and see you tomorrow.
Sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if Fire back to